This is CHSTV News.
Good morning, Cathedral. It's Friday, November 30th, the last day of Movember. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Eric with your morning announcements. Let's start off today's show with a message from Mrs. Cannon.
Good morning, Cathedral, and yes, thank you to Kyle and to Eric. Today is Friday, Movember the 30th, so a big day for our Movember movement, and thank you to everyone who has either supported or participated in this very worthwhile awareness for prostate cancer. We will be getting more information later about the day and how it looks and for our assembly. But right now, I just want to extend a big thank you. As many of you may be aware, this past week we had in our school and in our gym members from the regional EMS team and also heart and stroke representatives. So a big thank you goes out to all those students who participated, to the planning and organization of this big endeavor, to Mr. Tortis for all of that, to Mr. Lamont for his expertise in the area of healthcare and his very significant involvement in making sure that everything went smoothly right from day one. To those phys ed students, senior phys ed students who on Monday got the CPR certification and then for the rest of the week proceeded to do the awareness and the training with our students. So thank you to Ms. McCabe, the phys ed teachers, for your understanding and flexibility when we needed to use the gym, to Mrs. LaRue and the teachers in the religion department for your participation, and to, again, those students. We did see by the end of all of that training how significant it is that you and all of us are able to train and to be aware of what to do should that need arise. And as Mr. Felice, who is here from the EMS, pointed out, oftentimes people who do need CPR because they may be having a heart attack are usually those close to us, because a lot of those heart attacks do happen in homes with family around, and it makes a big, big difference when in fact we can be there to help out. So thank you to all involved. It was very successful and very much appreciated. Last night, I have here a booklet, the Awards for Distinguished Service to Catholic Education. Well, last night, among the recipients who were honored and recognized were present and past chaplaincy leaders. And so among those would have been and were Mr. McNorgan, chaplaincy leader here at Cathedral, and Ms. Bose, who is the chaplaincy leader at Wilma's Place, which is also part of Cathedral. So a big note of recognition and congratulations goes out to Mr. McNorgan, to Ms. Bose, and certainly all the wonderful chaplaincy leaders, and for their wonderful work that they've done here, even in the past at Cathedral. We really very much appreciate all your wonderful work and service and commitment to our students here at Cathedral, and of course board-wide. Before we go back to the anchors, again, a big note of thanks to all who have been involved with Movember. It has been very much high awareness, and I think for sure we had a lot more participation and support this year. So thank you to all. I know it started off as a little small notion with Mrs. Daly, and then a number of teachers and staff got on board starting last year and continued this year. So congratulations to all, and more note on that later in these announcements. Now back to Eric and Kyle. Have a great day, Cathedral.
Thanks, Miss. Today is the last day to sign up for the Christmas Miracle Program and to buy a gift for a child in need. There are still 15 students who need help in making their Christmas a little merrier. You can sign up in the forum on your lunch. You can sign up individually, as a class, or even as a group of friends. Your support is greatly appreciated. Period 1 classes, don't forget you have until next Friday to fill your baskets full of items for your family to use on Christmas. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Elliott or Ms. Kusumba.
Speaking of Christmas, students who sign up to audition for the Christmas Assembly are to check the posted schedule outside the Student Council office. Auditions start immediately at 3:15 in room 217 today after school. Don't be late or you'll lose your chance to be in the show.
Are you in grade 12 and are in the Specialist High Skills major? Stop by the guidance office and take a look at the list on the Specialist High Skills major board to see if you need the required CPR/first aid course. If you do, see Mr. Felice or Mrs. Samanda in guidance to sign up for the 10th, 11th, or 14th courses offered here at Cathedral for free. Space is limited, so sign up today. If you already have certification, see Miss Amanda so she can take your name off the list and update credits.
Attention all students who signed up for the trip to Chicago. Please bring in your deposit of $250 as soon as possible to Mr. Walker. All deposits are due today in order to secure your spot. If this is a problem, see Mr. Walker. And speaking of trips, all students going on the trip to Germany and France, remember that your next payment of $1,000 is due today in the main office. Please inform either Madame West, Madame Merson, or Mr. Trabuco once you have paid.
Moving into sports, congratulations to the midget boys basketball team for their first victory of the season. The players displayed typical Cathedral grit and determination in overcoming a tying basket in regulation time to eventually win 46-41 in overtime. Boys practice is tonight at 3:45. Thanks from Coach Gabardis.
Last night, the junior boys basketball team faced the seasoned Brebeuf team on the road. The Braves jumped out to a big lead, but a gale run cut the lead down to 10 points in the third. The juniors were not able to finish the job, however, and Brebeuf cruised to a humbling win. There is a very important practice for the juniors today at 3 p.m. Thanks from Coach Dunphy.
Today, the Cathedral swim team participates in their first meet of the season at 1:30 p.m. at Jimmy Thompson Pool. Team members are to be dismissed at the end of third period to have lunch. Then, make their way to the pool. Timers for this meet, Alicia, Caitlin, and Carol Ann, are to meet in student services at 1 p.m. with Miss Lucier. See you at the pool. Thanks from Coach Lucier and Coach Druven.
Just a reminder to all members of the midget girls volleyball team that they are to meet in the forum today at the beginning of period 5, so that they can be given information on how to get to Bishop Ryan for tonight's game at 3:30. If you have any questions, please see Mr. Hargott today.
To celebrate a very successful Movember campaign, today Cathedral will host its second annual Moskers. At the Moskers, each mustache grower will be recognized for his participation. Some awards will be given and the final tally of funds raised will be revealed. Fourth period teachers, if you have student council and or Gale Guide members in your class, can you please dismiss them at 12:15 p.m. to help set up for the assembly? Thank you very much from Mrs. Daly and Mr. Trabuco. During period 1, Gale Guides will be coming to each classroom to collect any final Movember donations. Remember, donate your money to the Mobro who you think has the best stash. A big thank you goes out to everyone who hasn't been involved and to everyone who has already donated. And remember, the message of Movember is to get yourself, friends, and family members checked out by a doctor regularly. Stay healthy, Mo Bros and Mo Sisters. And now I'll pass it over to Mr. Daly.
Good morning, Cathedral. I just wanted to explain to teachers what's happening today. We're on a 65-minute timetable, and the Movember assembly is going to be about 45 minutes, and it's going to be at the beginning of period 5, but there'll be no lost time. So each class will be 65 minutes. You can see the timetable. It's on the screen now. And so students are required to go to period 5 class to check in there before we call you down for the Moskers assembly. After that, every period 5 class will have a full 65 minutes. Okay, moving on, and then I got a couple things I wanted to talk to the students about. Number one, non-uniform sweaters. First of all, that's something that we do to keep this place safe. And we like anybody who's coming in from outside of our school to stick out like a sore thumb. And so although you guys may find it annoying when we make you take your sweater off, it's a safety issue. And that also includes team members who are wearing sweaters that, those are not allowed as well for all the same reasons. We can't have a variety of sweaters walking through the hallways because it just makes it very hard for us to pick out the kids that really shouldn't be here or the adults that shouldn't be here. So we really are trying to keep the place safe. That is the reason, and I'm appealing to your maturity on that. So please adhere to that. And so moving on. Jamming doors. Somebody's been jamming doors out near the basketball court, and it's frankly, it's destroying the mechanism. So stop doing that, or you're going to be faced with a suspension. We can't have the property get destroyed. And I know you want back in the building, but walk to the doors that are open. Don't jam the doors near the basketball courts. Respect for others in our school and our community. That goes to basically throw out your garbage. We've had incidents where students are throwing food up on the walls. I'm sorry, that's just unacceptable and it's disrespectful. Please, it's disrespectful to our place, and you guys can all help us with this. Just throw out your garbage and don't do things like that. It just makes life difficult for everybody. And finally, the last quick one I wanted to talk about was lates versus absences. a late is always better than an absence, okay? So if you're late, you're late, and if you have to come down to see us, that's the way it is. But please don't skip the class because you're late and you're trying to avoid the consequence, because in the end, we want you in class. We want you in class getting the most out of your teachers, getting the most out of your education. And if you're skipping to avoid, let's say, a detention, that doesn't help you, and it doesn't help us, and it doesn't help us all get where we need to go. So those are my issues, and I just want to pass it back to the anchors.
Those are all of your announcements for today, Cathedral. Happy birthday goes out to Matthew Fernandez from your sister and Rachel Porton from Marlo and all your friends.
Have a great weekend, Gales, and thanks for watching.
People couldn't believe what I'd become.